Double penetration. I love GPs.
Like double penetration.
Some double penetration.
Double penetration on your own with some solo play.
Hello, and welcome to the Double Penetration Podcast. Here are your hosts, Creep and Steel.
Are your ear holes ready for some penetration? Because we are ready to penetrate. Your friend, Mr. Chris Steele. And who am I?
The fucking Creep Queen, that's who.
Coming at you this week. What are we talking about?
Well, we're at the special number, volume 21. We're talking spring break. We're talking random sex with girls and dudes and drugs and drinking and all sorts of fun things that you do at spring break. Unless you're me.
Unless you're me.
Yeah.
I never did anything spring break wise, like much.
You never, like, ventured out into the unknown world of, you know, beaches and... Well, you already lived in Florida, so it didn't fucking matter for spring break for you.
I mean, like, I definitely have things to say, but I figure we wait till after the intro and
Yeah. Exactly. What are we doing? Doing show
What
stuff?
are we doing?
I don't know
Who
what the fuck
are we?
We're fucking... We're two cool people ready to fucking rock people's eardrums with some fucking penetration.
Penetration.
I hope you got your ear holes lubed up and ready from a wet willy, because shit's about
My
to go
wet
down.
willy.
Wet willies are the fucking worst. Every now and then my wife gets me with one because she knows I really hate them.
You got to.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's so fucking gross.
I don't think anybody really likes it. That may be the one thing there is no fetish for.
I guarantee you, says there is. There's some dude go out there and going, now, what? I'm outraged. Fucking, what would you call a wet willy fetish? Like, what would it be? You know, because there's bestiality and fucking
You would call it
necrophilia or...
eardrum and eardrum.
Eardrum and...
Ear...
I don't know. But I do know one thing. You can visit our website at doublepodcast.com. Double P Podcast on Instagram and at Double P Show on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Chris Steele. And then you can check out our Patreon, Double P Podcast on Patreon. Creep, where can everybody find you?
CreepQueen.com. Oh, I got a burp.
Uh-oh.
Woo. Follow me on Twitter, CreepXQueen. My Snapchat, my new Snapchat is CreepQueenXXX.
Ooh.
And that's it.
Does that mean a whole lot of dirty stuff takes place there because it's the XXX?
I'm not talking about my public Snapchat.
Oh, it's public, so that means just some cool things happen.
I'm not talking about it. But I do have a lot of trips coming up, so it is going to be really fun. I'm not going to, nope, I'm not going to talk about it. Just add me, you'll see.
Well, that is the beauty of Snapchat because things can go away.
Yup.
Yup. Talking about the things that you got going on, or no, not yet?
I mean, I don't...
Like appearance-wise?
Yeah,
or...
yeah. I'll be in Atlanta at I think it's called the Tattoo and Arts Convention.
Yes.
Is that what it's called? I can't. It won't stick in my head. I don't know why. But there's a convention in Atlanta next weekend, the weekend of the 16th. So I'll be there with Smut Life the 16th and the 17th. Though I'll be there the 18th, I do believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go to Massachusetts.
I always, there's a kid that I knew that called Massachusetts Massive Two Tits, and I like that so much.
Massachusetts. There was this guy I knew that called it Massachusetts, and I was like not on purpose. Like, I think that's just how it came out, and I'm like, I mean, you're not wrong.
Stuck with you, so.
So I'll be heading there. Then we're going to Denver for Exotica, but we'll be in Denver for a week shooting some hot, steamy, sexy girl on girl on girl on girl action.
Yeah.
It's gonna be pretty fucking rad, and don't be jealous because I get to fuck all these super awesome bitches.
Hey, I'm not jealous. I'm a married man. I can view from afar.
Not you, but everybody.
Ah, that's right. All you jealous motherfuckers out there. Follow
No, it'll
Creep.
be fun though, and I'm excited to go to Exotica. I hope I get to meet a lot of people. I think I said that last week too, but I love meeting people.
I
and
hope you
hugging
get to meet
people.
Foxler. I hope
Huh?
he's there. Foxler.
Oh yeah, I definitely hope I get to see him.
I hope he's there with his blue wolf boyfriend.
Yes,
I
I do hope I get to meet them and hug them and squish them and everybody else. And
I recently re-listened to the Foxler interview.
did you?
Just on a whim. I was bored at work and I needed something to kill an hour of like
Yeah.
coolness. And I was like, you know what? I remember really enjoying that episode. We fucking killed that episode. That was a good one. And I urge everybody to check that out. Especially, like, you don't necessarily have to be a furry to listen to that episode, because I sure as fuck ain't a furry, but it's interesting lifestyle and just some really cool things happen on that episode.
Yeah,
So check it out. It's fun.
it's fun.
Right.
Email. Email. Email.
Spring break edition.
Springeth a breaketh a.
You ever go on spring break?
So, like, this is what I was going to say. I never got to go on spring break, like, in I was going to say elementary school, but, like, that would be creepy as fuck. But,
Well,
like,
you
I
are a
never
creep
went on
queen.
spring break in, like, high school or whatever with everybody because,
Mhm.
like, I was always working. And then even after that, I moved to the beach. I didn't really go on spring break, but it just, like, was spring break. You know what I mean?
It was always spring break when you moved to the beach.
Yeah, and like I just remember hating it so much because like all the tourists would come to town and it was like the worst fucking thing ever. Like if you're gonna be a tourist, don't look like a fucking tourist. Like
Oh.
it's just fucking annoying and they fuck shit up. You know what I mean? It's just fucking stupid.
I don't know.
I've
never understood the people that are like tourists and like go to beaches and shit like that and just leave their garbage all over the place. It's like, come on, if you had a local beach too or something like that, you wouldn't do that, and you definitely wouldn't do that shit in your yard if you're having a barbecue.
Yeah,
You know?
it's fucking nuts, man. People just are so fucking like I get being trashy, like I'm trashy as fuck. Like ain't nothing wrong with being trashy. But
Fuck
like when
no.
you're just like destructive and like just don't give a fuck
Mhm.
about not like you don't even have to be like an environmental freak, but just like
Just pick up after yourselves.
yeah, just don't be fucking disgusting. Like
You ever shit
oh
in the
my
ocean?
god, but we used to fuck with people. So like we would always be on the beach at like all fucking night drinking, like 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. And there was this isn't like a sex fucking crazy story, but it was just fun. Like we would fucking like all the people staying at the fucking like beaches, like you know what I mean, that are there for a vacation. They left like all their fucking like beach chairs and tents out and shit like that. And we fucking spent like 5 hours one night. Like nobody was on the fucking beach and we were fucking wasted. And we just sand covered everybody's like lawn chairs, like in the shape of their lawn chair and stuff. And like would cover their cooler, like in the shape of their cooler, like would just fucking cover everything in sand, but like shape it so it looked just like what it was. And it was like,
They
the
probably
most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Like it was so beautiful. And like you could just tell where we had been because it was just like one after the other on the beach.
People probably woke up and was like, "What the hell?"
Oh my god, so good. I have pictures somewhere. I'll have to find some because it was
Hell
like
yeah.
we went like first thing in the morning just to like watch people and see if they were like pissed or not.
See some guy cleaning off his beach chair all
Oh
bummed
my
out.
god.
God
I
damn
mean,
it,
like,
Susan!
you
it
can't
got
be mad.
sand
Like,
on
you're
it.
getting sandy anyway. Like,
Yeah.
it's the beach. Like,
Like if you go to the beach and you get a little upset they got sand in your car, come on.
right?
Like, what the fuck
But
do
it
you
was
think?
just, oh my god. It was so good. It was like my favorite time when like all the people would come to town because we'd just be like, fuck y'all.
Goddamn tourists.
It was so beautiful though. Like, it was just so well done. Like, good job to us. Like, it was just really good.
See, you weren't destructive because you used nature against the tourists.
Yeah. I mean, their fucking tears were already in the sand.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not like you poured gasoline all over everything and lit it on fire, and then at the end of the night you were like, it was just
we
a
never
joke.
stole
It got
anything
out of
from
hand.
anybody.
Oh, I'd have stolen shit. I was a piece of
We
crap.
never moved anything. Like, we just,
Just buried shit with sand.
decorated.
That
So
sounds
like that was
fun.
always fun. Or like I I don't know. It was just fun. I think I may have. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
I love those moments where you remember something and it's just like, yeah.
Yeah. So this was actually in Massachusetts, and
A
I
spring
guess
break,
I don't know why
Massachusetts.
people would come to Massachusetts on spring break, but they did.
Art.
And
For like art museums, maybe they were like those nerd types.
yeah, I mean, and like there are some beaches down there, like especially where I was. Like I'm not gonna say where I was, but where I was, there was like water and shit. Like I guess whatever. So it was a group of people. It was like this whole like I was a server at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I had this whole table of fucking guys and like this one girl, and all the guys would just fucking getting more drunk, and everybody was getting stupid. All the guys were like hitting on me, being fucking nasty and shit. And like, I don't know how, but I ended up like getting the girl's number and like
Uh-oh.
carrying on relations with like this girl at the table. And like all the guys were like super pissed because they were trying to get in her pants too. You know what I mean? And now they're drunk trying to get in my pants too. And we're like, nah, fuck yeah, like we got this. Like,
So did you and that girl hook up like and fuck?
I mean, I don't, maybe.
Listen, I'm
Huh?
I'm a believer of the Ron Bennington School of Broadcasting, where you're allowed to pump up stories because we're doing entertainment.
No, I get that, but I just can't tell every story that I want to tell.
Just we'll leave this for the listeners' imaginations to run wild.
I mean, sometimes I just cannot do that.
Sometimes, folks, you got to use your imagination. If you know what the Creep Queen looks like, you can imagine some broad motorboating those lovely bosoms of hers. Just
I mean, you
saying,
can
folks.
also go ahead and imagine that if I can't say if I fuck somebody, that I probably fuck somebody. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Like, I feel like that's just like a general rule, but I'm not saying I did, and I'm not saying I didn't.
It's kind of like when you meet you and a new girl start dating, and she goes, "So how many people have you slept with?" And if you hesitate just for a second, she knows that is going to be a lie. How many people have you slept with? 4.
Oh man.
So.
And then I don't know. I have a lot of spring break stories, but I was drunk for a lot of my.
Well, that's the point, you know. I mean, like people go to spring
No, I
break
just
to
like
party.
I was drunk and a lot of bad. Like I blacked out a lot of my fucking like from like 18 to like 24. There's just like a gap.
Hey, listen here, sister. I know your struggles with blackouts.
Oh man.
But
So you don't have no. You don't have no like how fucking like ignorant
mean-
can I be? You ain't got none.
no, like my parents were always like, "No, you're not going to spring break." So it was always like, well, I mean, there was kids that I went to high school with that went down to like Daytona Beach and all these cool spring break places, but it was always like, man, those parents must be cool. And you know what's kind of fucked up is that a couple of those kids that had cool parents that let them go on spring break, a couple of those kids kind of died after high school, partying too
They
much.
kind
So,
of died.
well, they're dead. I don't want to make light of a.
But like, are they dead though? Or
Oh,
like,
yeah, they're
are they
dead.
kind of dead?
Yeah. I don't know if they're 6 feet under or turned into ash, but yeah, they're dead.
Ash and dust.
So, God bless
Happens
them.
to the best of us.
Hey, when you party hard, there are risks. It's a risk. It's like a risk reward. It's like being a race car driver.
I mean, like living life is a fucking risk reward. I mean, like inevitably we're all fucking dead. So
Yeah, well, you know, the second you're born, you're starting to die.
oh, I'm on the wrong shit.
Oh shit!
You ready to read some
Yeah,
schmeemails?
yeah. We got some emails from our friends to tell us some of their crazy, wild spring break stories. So word them up, Doc.
I met these girls on this trip with 2 of my buddies, and we took them back to our place. We were drinking and doing keg stands and started
Fuck
messing
yeah.
around all over the house. I felt so nauseous when we were having sex, but the last thing I remember is her riding me, and then I woke up naked, alone.
It very well may have been him being drunk, imagining that he was getting ridden by a very hot, buxom gal. But you, sir, very well may have just been jacking off and, you know.
I mean, there's a lot of days I woke up alone and was just like, thank God you left. Like, thank God I left. Like, thank God you're just not still here.
You know, a funny walk of shame story when I was living with an ex And you just remembered something, but
No, go ahead.
I heard that. But it's not a spring break story, but I used to have to get up really early, earlier than I do now for work. And as I was leaving for work, I saw a girl doing the walk of shame, and it was, it was the walk of shame because she was walking barefoot, holding her high heels, and it was also Halloween, so she had pieces of her Halloween costume. And then once her and I made eye contact, she was just like, fuck. You never want to get caught doing the walk of shame, and she got busted by me.
Oh, it's so funny. We should have a walk of shame episode because I have a lot of stories. Like,
so you taking the walk of shame or sending some dude out the door?
Like, I just have a lot.
Right,
I just have
we'll
a lot of stories. Both
let,
ways.
Let's not dive deep into that anymore. I'm gonna write that down. Walk of shame, and you hear folks.
I feel like everybody has good walk of shame stories. Like, if you haven't ever been on a walk of shame or sent somebody on a walk of shame, like, I don't believe you.
Yeah, walk of shame sucks.
It's so great. It's so great when, like, too. Like, when you're just like, this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is my life now.
Yeah, and then you get in the car and you start it and you start driving and Toto's Africa comes on and you feel a little bit better. I was at the beach and I met this girl at the bar. We decided to bar hop, but never made it. We started fucking around dark places. We couldn't get caught. We found a putt-putt place and snuck into one of the caves, and I started eating her out. Then I threw her pants in the bushes and started to fuck her. Then I fucked her. Wow. Okay. I read that wrong, but sorry about that, folks.
Wow.
I threw her pants in the bushes to fuck her. Then I fucked her. I came in her because she asked me to. Wow, she's a player. She found her pants and we snuck out as fast as we could. Good for you, sir. I hope if she did have a child out of that, you did the right thing. Wow. Sneaking into putt-putt places. You never told a guy to come in you?
I've never been like, yeah, I want you to come in me.
Really?
Ever. Yeah, ever. And only... Oh.
I love when you remember things. Your reaction to remembering things is hilarious. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's a bad. That was like a bad.
Hey, again, we could write down this. Have you ever told somebody to come in you? That's the next show topic someday, folks. Maybe not. Who knows?
I'm like, oh. Fuck.
I can't believe that girl would want you to finish in her. But,
some girl. Did we talk about this last week or the week before that? Talking about.
Yeah, crazy sex stories. Yep. Some girls want it. I don't know why.
Crazy.
Especially if it's like a one-night stand thing like that.
My whole thing was that, like, I don't want to die without knowing what it feels like to have a big hot load fucking blown in me. Like, I was so scared that I was gonna die without knowing this feeling. Like, I was like, it used to really fuck with me. I was like, no, like, I will get a load of cum, damn it. Like, oh, fuck. Sorry.
No. You know how I like to put out those quick clips of volumes? Well, that might have made it.
Woo!
On to the next.
I hung out with this girl all day on the beach. We decided to meet up and go clubbing.
Yeah.
We were wasted and tried to head home, but we ended up getting sidetracked and fucking in the woods.
Hey. A lot of outdoor sexual activities are taking place on spring
There was
break,
a continuation of the story that I didn't write, and I don't remember why, but it was like they had gotten to the woods through like a church, like it was like the church woods, so that makes it even worse. And then like he had like ripped her panties off and like threw them, and they got stuck in a tree or something. Like, it was wild. It was a wild story.
I mean, I've had some, clothes pulling moments, but I've never like lost panties or things in trees or
really
things. Yeah, no.
I've definitely like had clothes destroyed because people literally rip them off.
I've had when you have a button down shirt and the chick pops all your button off. I remember that happening one time and just thinking, motherfucker, It's a brand new shirt, and I just lost all my fucking buttons.
I remember one of my ex, like, he looked at me one time. It was after we had broken up too, like years later. We fucked again or something. I remember he was like eating me out or something. He looked up and he was like, "Do you care about these panties?" And I was like, "Huh? What?" And he just like ripped them. I was like, "Oh, okay." All right.
I thought when you said, "Do you care about these panties?" I thought he was going to put them in his pocket like a conquest.
Hey, that's happened too.
Hey. Chicks have taken my boxers. Just saying.
I'm like, hey, I sell those. You owe me $25.
You charge $25? That's a good deal.
It is a really good deal.
Hey, it's a good deal, folks. Go out and buy Creeps panties. We parked at a baseball field and took off our clothes and walked onto the field and started fucking. We were heading back to the car and we had put a couple of clothes back on when the cops pulled up. Thankfully, they let us go. Good for you.
Have you ever been caught by the cops?
No, nothing. Well, I've never like done anything like really like. I mean, I've done some sketchy shit that I'm not proud of. So it's like I've never gotten caught. Like, I mean, I've only gotten pulled over once. Knock on wood, as they say. And but like I've never really like. No, I've never really had any run-ins with cops, even when I was drinking.
Really?
Yeah, I've been pretty cool with the cops.
I've been pretty cool with the cops.
Yeah, that's why when people say fuck the police, I'm thinking, you know what? I've actually been all right with the cops so far. So
I only got caught by the cops once.
Fucking?
I was sucking dick.
Whoa! She comes out right with it.
It was a dick.
It's a big old dick.
Have I told this story?
Was it the one behind Barnes and Noble?
No.
Oh, then
no.
you probably haven't.
This is when I was younger. I was like still a virgin younger, and I was sucking a dick, okay? But I was sucking a dick in the Toys R Us parking lot.
Hey, real quick, they're closing all the Toys R Us's.
I saw that.
Sad moment.
So I was sucking this dick in the Toys R Us parking lot, and it was late as fuck. And I was like supposed to be in a movie or something. And like, see what had happened was like the cops pulled up and shit. And he was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like wearing a skirt or something. So I was like, "What the fuck to you? Like, who the fuck is you?" But he was like, "No, this is unacceptable. Like, what are you doing?" Like, what?
So were you
just
like
fucking
in the parking lot or in a car?
in a car in the
okay.
parking lot? But like, he totally busted us. Like, it was a total bust. Like, there was no like, "Oh, I wasn't doing anything." But he was like,
So
"I tried." And he was like, "Nah, you're full of shit."
Did you get thrown in
And
the clink?
the worst thing that could have happened.
Got busted and thrown in jail.
No, he made
Oh.
us call our parents.
Oh, even worse. I
It
would
was
have
the
taken
worst
jail.
thing ever. And he was like, "I could get you guys in a lot of trouble right now, but I'm going to make it worse." He's like, "Call your parents." And I was like, I don't know their number." And he was like, "You're full of shit." And like, we had
I
cell
don't
phones
have
because
their
it wasn't
number.
like so far back in the day. He was like, "No, don't give me some fake number. Like, I'm going to talk to them." So I like, oh my God, it was so bad. He like called his mom and dad, and I called fucking mine. It was just, it was
Hey,
the worst. Like, I went right home. Like,
So
I was in so much trouble.
did the cop have to talk to the parents first, or did you guys?
Yeah,
start
no,
talking?
yeah. We didn't even get to talk. He like called them and then like hung up and was
So like, what did he tell the police, that you were performing fellatio, or was he like real like brass about like she was sucking this guy's dick?
I wasn't like, oh my God. I was so fucking scared and so fucking nervous. I don't really remember, but I just remember being like, yeah, so like I'm here and they're here and like this was happening and like I'm just gonna send them home to you. And I'm like, no, take me to jail. I'd rather you take me to jail.
Yeah. Well, either way, you would have had to have your parents called, whether you went to jail or they called them there.
Oh man.
The interesting things we learn about creep, folks.
Right. You're like, "No, I ain't got nothing." I'm like, "Bitch, let me tell you." Ooh, spring break week at the club. I met this girl and we started fucking in the bathroom. When we
Yeah.
came out of the stall, other friends were there and shit. It was fucking crazy.
I heard that. I heard that as her friends were there too. Shit. I had water in my mouth and I almost spit it all out. That's why the
I
pause.
mean, they could have maybe been there to shit.
Hey, they're in the bathroom. Even though I like to imagine girls don't poop, but you know,
You don't think girls poop?
I'm married. What do you think? I was on spring break, but I never really went anywhere because I worked too much. I live down at the beach already, though, so it wasn't a problem. I ended up meeting a couple of guys who were there, and they ended up being locals as well. I made fuck buddies out of both of them for the long haul. Wow.
It wasn't me. I'm like, wait, this sounds a lot like what I just said.
She's like, wait a minute.
I'm glad we got a girl,
That's
like
awesome.
a good girl story in here.
That's cool, man.
I made fuck buddies out of them for the long haul. Wait, I gotta find it.
Like, I wonder if they knew that they were, like, she met a couple of guys. So, I mean, did those two dudes, like, were they pals and were they tag teaming her, or was she fucking them both on the sly? Like, they didn't know. That's what I wonder. I'm curious about things.
Or if they knew and just didn't care. This could go a lot of ways.
Yeah, maybe she was into double penetration.
Now on double penetration.
It's very possible.
I thought I saw what you did there, and
What do you mean?
double penetration,
Oh,
double penetration, or like,
double.
you know,
penetration.
I like me some double penetration. Like that could also go a lot of different ways. Like, I don't fucking know.
Right.
Oh yeah, I met this dude at an arcade during spring break once, and like he was so quiet and shy, but I ended up sucking his dick while he played Pac-Man.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
Is that from like the fucking 80s? Jesus Christ. Number one, where the fuck is there an arcade? And number
What?
two, yeah, there's no arcades around me. Like, I mean,
Oh my
there's
god, there's so many arcades. Like, I went to a bar arcade last time I was in Florida. I didn't drink, but I went, and like there's mad arcades everywhere.
Well,
like
yeah,
besides
because-
Dave and Buster's, which is also an arcade. Like
the Dave and
there's
Buster's.
a lot.
But Dave and Buster's is more like ticket games to win prizes and shit. It's not like a true arcade where you go plunk in 50 cents and play 3 lives and then that's it.
Yeah, the bar arcade that I went to in Tampa was like, it was like that all old school games. Like they had like the original Jurassic Park pinball game, and it was like
Hell yeah.
so beautiful, and like all these like original super old fucking.
I always wanted a
awesome
pinball
games.
game.
Huh?
I always wanted my own pinball game. Like,
Yeah,
for the
you
house.
can get some pretty cheap actually.
My uncle has one. And so when we go over there for Thanksgiving, I play some pinball. While everybody else
play
is
some
eating
pinball.
turkey and having gravy and stuffing, I play pinball.
I love pinball so
Fuck
much.
yeah, there's something satisfying about the way that the bumpers go conk conk, the way they
I
sound.
love it. I love it so much.
It's fucking weird sounds that, are super satisfying. But my boyfriend found this bitch that was visiting the beach where we lived, and he brought her home. He told me he had a surprise for me after work, and lo and behold, there they were. We all fucked for hours, and then I kicked him out of bed, and I slept with her.
There's so many girl stories. I didn't even realize this when I wrote them out.
Hell yeah, that's a fucking cool chick.
Right?
She's pretty, like, obviously they have a good relationship to where he can go around and flirt with gals and say, hey.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But that's funny. She kicked him out and she got to sleep with her.
Did a snuggie with her?
Hey.
I was watching, what was I watching the other day?
Stranger Things.
I mean, not the
Back
other
to the
day.
Future Part 3.
Oh, yeah. That was it.
I love that movie.
Remember that part where where the same thing happens?
What, in the same thing?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I was watching like Maury or some shit. Do you ever watch that? Like
Fuck
Maury
yeah, I love
or-
Maury. I love it when they do if you're the father or not the father, and I love when the dude high fives the crowd. That's my favorite part. Runs up the aisle high fiving everybody. That's the shit.
That's
The girl runs
shit.
off. She runs off the stage crying. Ah! That shit's so fucking funny. He's high fiving.
I knew I wanted daddy, you slut.
I told you. Good times. Fucking
Oh my
Maury.
god. No, it was a Jerry Springer episode, and there was like 2 huge like box presents on stage, and the guy was like, I got a present for my girlfriend. And it was just like 2 girls that popped out of the boxes. Did you see that one?
Nope.
Oh my god, I just watched it the other day. It was beautiful.
That's awesome. Fuck yeah.
I never did or do anything on spring break. Being an adult sucks.
Yeah, it does, but it's not all that bad because, well,
I mean, you're
You're an adult.
Not-
You can do what you want.
That's funny.
But adult things do suck. Paying bills sucks. Having to mow the lawn sucks. Shovel snow sucks.
Not if you pay somebody to do it.
Yeah, but then that's still paying bills, and paying bills suck.
Yeah, but then you can just group it all into one category.
That is
Just
true.
one thing sucks.
A lot of things suck, but I wouldn't necessarily say being an adult sucks. Unless you got like fucking like 25 kids, and
That's
You
your
know.
own damn fault.
that is true. You ever see those shows with like people that have like, I don't know, sister wives or some shit like that?
I want to do that.
You want to be a sister wife?
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
And I've been like binge watching the Sister Wife show. Well, I've been binge watching Seeking Sister Wife. And I just really like that's so fucking ideal for me. Except I would be pissed because the girls don't fuck, and like I would want to fuck everybody. Like, you
So
know
the
what I'm
girl
saying?
doesn't get to have sex with the other girl on the
No,
show?
and that's not like what they look for. Like they're looking for like that connection with someone and like a best friend and like that support and like it's like not. I mean, I'm sure in some cases it's sexual between everybody, but that's not like what the base of it is or like what it's about.
So now on the other, so the sister wife, does she marry the dude, or is it just like, all right, you're a part of our crew?
Well, like they say married, but like, and I'm not like I've looked up what is that
Polygamy.
That's
Yeah.
polygamy.
But I
Like
believe
I've looked up
polygamy is a part
polygamy
of-
and stuff,
I believe
but
polygamy
like
is a
in
part
the
of-
show, like they don't because you're not legally allowed to like marry multiple people or like where these people are. So like they'll just say they're married, but they're not really married.
So they'll do a fake ceremony.
Yeah.
That I think dudes that like getting married to have them like multiple like chicks like that, I think they just like to have the wedding party. I think they just get into it to have the party. Because I liked being married. I thought the whole thing was fucking fun, and then
I
the
like
reception.
being married.
It's fucking fun. All the attention's on you. It's the shit. Everybody fucking hangs out.
I would
and-
hate that. Like getting married seems like the most awkward thing that could ever happen.
Nah, like if you plan it the right way, like me and my wife were cool. We were like, all right, we're gonna keep this like kind of big but kind of small, not too crazy, not spend a lot of money, but have still a good fucking classy time. So we had Cristal and shit. It was fun.
Yeah, seems
Fuck yeah.
awkward. I hate it.
Nah, it was cool. Getting married's
Hate it.
fun. I'm not telling you to get married because I don't need you laughing at me.
For obvious reasons.
Oh yeah, that is true.
No, but it does just seem so awkward. Like even if I got to the point and was like, yeah, I want to get married, which like isn't gonna happen. But if I did, like it just seems awkward. Like everybody's looking at you. Like I'm probably gonna trip walking down the aisle or like end up running down the aisle because I'm so anxious and like
You know what? I'll tell you this, like from experience, like from a guy's point of view, if you're planning on getting married and you're worried about those things, as soon as you see your chick coming down the aisle or wherever you're getting married at, the beach, the fucking golf club, I don't fucking know. But as soon as you see her, you don't see anybody else. That's it. You just see your chick. So I imagine that.
Really?
Yep. I imagine that's all you see when you're a chick is your
oh,
dude.
that's so awkward. And then I'd be like, oh my God, he's looking at me. What am I doing with my face? Like, what's my face doing? Am I picking my nose right now? Like, my butt itches. Like, fuck, I got nervous poops. Like,
Oh, nervous shits are the worst. Nervous shits are the worst.
dude, it's the worst. It's the worst ever.
No.
There was this moment in my life, I thought I was going to die. I literally thought that was it. Like, I thought I was going to die. And all I had to do was shit. And I was like, I swear to God, if I die and shit my pants right now, I'm going to be pissed. Like, I'm just going to be fucking pissed.
Cops will come like, wow, this chick's hot. Oh, she shit her pants.
That's all I could think about on my deathbed was like, I don't want to shit myself
Fucking crazy.
or die on the toilet. It's been like my biggest fear since I was a child. Like since I was fetus creep, I'm like, I'm going to die on the toilet. I know I'm going to, and I don't want to.
You're going to go out like Elvis did, huh?
Like,
Die on
is
the
that how I
shitter.
went out?
I'm pretty sure he died on the shitter, if I'm not mistaken.
Was he shitting?
Well, I mean, the only time I ever sit on the toilet is if I'm dropping a deuce, so I'll let you on a secret. He probably was. Ah, Christ. Last email, folks. This is a doozy, and I want to apologize for this gentleman's language because it's quite salty. He said, "Fuck this cunt on spring break and got herpes. Life's a bitch." Sir.
Oh god.
That would
That
suck.
sucks.
Isn't like herpes like for the rest of your life?
Oh yeah, that's for the rest of your life. Yeah,
so
that's
no matter
for
what,
the
he's
rest
always
of
gonna
your life.
remember. Like, fuck, my dick itches and my balls hurt today. Oh yeah, it's because of that fucking dumb bitch on spring break.
That sucks. That
She
sucks
ha-
so bad.
She must have been a local,
That sucks.
letting dudes fucking bang her out every time spring break comes along. She's like obviously, like my guess is that chick was probably a local, letting dudes come around spring break, and she's banging them all the time. You know.
Oh my god, that's fucked up.
Hey, I'm just speculating. This gentleman obviously has gone through a lot. I'm siding with him. But I'm trying to
I think it's fucked up if somebody has something and like doesn't say,
Oh yeah.
"Hey, I
that's-
have this." Because I mean, like, sure that I mean, I've never in my whole life had anything, which I think is pretty shocking. But like, I've never once had anything, nothing, and like, fucking. I can imagine that would be embarrassing to say, but it would be more embarrassing if you didn't say something and somebody got it. Like, I feel like that's more.
Well,
No.
I mean, if you're catching something from somebody else and you don't realize, well, I mean, if
No,
it's
I mean, like, if
but
you
if it's a one night
know-
stand and you don't know that if it's a one night stand and you don't know that you're gonna see that person again, that's gonna suck. But if you know who that person is, that's even gonna suck more.
It just sucks all around.
Fuck yeah, it sucks.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry if anybody has things.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Tell your partner if you were having.
That's
things.
basically what it comes down to, right?
I mean, yeah.
You have to.
I would imagine that there's groups out there. Like, here's my thought: if you have, herpes or even AIDS or HIV, you're gonna seek out other people with AIDS and herpes and HIV to have sex with because, I mean.
What about those? Like, I heard horror stories about like maybe this was a show, so it was probably fake, or like maybe I just made this up. I don't fucking know. But like about those people that like have AIDS or have something really bad, and then they like seek out people that don't have it just to give it to them because like
Oh no, that's
they're
probably
pissed
a
that
real
they
thing.
have it. Like that's nutty. Like I'm sorry if you have something, but that's just nutty. Like
Well, you're mad at the world, I guess. You can either go out with a gun in your mouth or go out fucking and spreading your disease everywhere else until you.
that's crazy.
crumble up and
For a
die.
long time, I thought like I was super uneducated, and I thought that like you could only get a disease if you fucked. Like I wasn't even thinking about fucking swallowing mad loads. You know what I'm saying? And, like,
God damn, you're funny today.
like-
Oh, there's been so many moments like today. Like I just.
I'm like, I don't know. This is my life, man. Like,
Fuck. We're
Like,
back.
yeah. But I still didn't have anything, so like that's cool.
Hey, you know what? Like we said, it's risk reward. So
I was just so pissed that I didn't think about it. I was like, all this time? All these loads? Oh, yeah.
well, I guess there's no better way. There's no topping this. What our friend the Creep Queen just said, there's nothing that could match, top, or even come close to how awesome that just was.
But like, nah.
Nah, there's no point to even try. Sorry, folks, you're
Nah,
getting a
I'm
shorter
good.
episode. But there's not a lot that can top that. But we'll try next week. What are we
Next
talking
week
about
we're
next
talking
week? What's next week?
crazy sex stories.
Whoa. Wow, spring break could have fallen into some of those crazy sex stories.
Yep, it sure could have.
Wow. I wonder if there's anybody that will write in saying they had sex in a graveyard.
Oh.
I I can tell you Creep probably has. I think we've talked about it, though, actually. I think we have. Could
What
be
a good
wrong.
week.
But, huh?
I said, what a good week. I hope everybody's had a good week and has a good week. And
A good weekend, a weekday, a work week. Whether you're going to school or college or busting your ass fucking flipping burgers. Doesn't matter what you do. I hope you have a splendid time doing it and a fun time doing so. Folks,
ow.
this has been volume 21 of Double Penetration Podcast. I thank you for listening. Go to our website, doublepodcast.com. Follow us on Instagram where we post some funny, cool, silly things and various other things of that nature. Double P Show on Twitter at Mr. Chris Steele, MrKrisSteel. Creep, where can everybody find you?
CreepQueen.com. That's CREEPQU.
Double EN.
I was like, wait, that was too easy. What'd I do?
There's nothing worse than trying to spell something out and then being like, wait, did I spell that right? Especially during a spelling
Oh, that
bee.
QU just fucked me all up.
That QU. Folks, thank you for listening. Thank you for rating and reviewing. And of course, as always, thank you for being a friend.
Hello, I am your announcer, Bethany. Please remember to rate and review 5 stars on iTunes. Rating and reviewing helps out the show. Thanks for listening to the Double Penetration Podcast with your hosts, Creep and Steele.